We're halfway through the trading day on Monday, October 18th. Hello, traders. Last night I did a video. I was doing my research Sunday night. I thought I would post a video. I had described to you the market setup. Everything looks bullish. Overnight futures were looking like they were going to come in. We want to buy. We want to find a strong stock. Home Depot was the pick. Let's take a look at that daily chart. That's what got me excited. We have this beautiful horizontal breakout, long candle through horizontal resistance, gap higher, long green candle closing on its high. Any pullback is a buy. If you tried to get that bullish put spread off, there was an opportunity to do it in the first 5 minutes of trading. You had to have that order working, but you were able to sell that 340, 335 bullish put spread for $1. I know I have people in the chat room that got filled on it. I got a fill on it. So we have the stock with 4 long green candles closing on their high. This is a very, very bullish pattern. Notice that there is very little overlap. When you get this, this is a bull flag formation. Got your downward sloping trend line. First dip is a buy, off to the races. The market also looked very, very strong. I like Home Depot. I also day traded it from the long side. Stock looks very, very good. Now I want to go into my market comments from this morning. If you go to oneoption.com, use the number 1, you'll be able to see these free every morning. I post them before the open. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to scroll down to my comments for day traders. And you can see here, day traders need to wait for the market to open. I paint a variety of scenarios that could unfold this morning and how I am going to respond to them. You need to do the same thing. If we have stacked If we see consecutive stacked green candles with little to no overlap in the first 30 minutes, you can buy aggressively. Okay, so there are your marching orders for this morning. I like the market setup. We're going to go into the S&P 500. There's your open. Boom. Long green candle, very little overlap. We have a little doji here, pause, another 3 green candles stacked. That tells you that the market is going higher. So we were able to fill in the gap almost instantly on the first shot, and then the market ran higher this morning. You can see how now it's been testing the high of the day. I don't know that there's a lot of gas left in the tank for today. Once we get these big moves, they tend to run their course pretty quickly, like about 90 minutes or so, and then we tend to get into a compression for the rest of the day. That's kind of what I see happening right now. The one thing that you'll notice is in here, I did buy futures, made a nice return on that position. And what clued me in was we had this 10p bearish cross right in here. So it comes into play right about here. And it tells us that we need to be careful. So at this juncture, you'll be taking profits on your long positions. We've almost filled in the gap. But here's the clue. It continued to tick lower, and typically what you'll see 10p do is if it's moving lower, the market should be rolling over and moving lower. When it doesn't, this is what we call a bullish divergence because it's continuing to sink down and sink down and sink down, and you can see that the market's able to hold the bid very, very well. It is compressing at the high of the day when this is starting to deteriorate. That tells me that we are going higher. So that was the clue for us to get long and to stay long in stocks that we had positions in. Really nice day shaping up right now. And this is confirmation that this breakout above that downward sloping trend line is legitimate. We also know that we have the 50-day moving average on the S&P 500. So let's overlay that. And we've been able to close above it. Never got down to it today. We were very, very close on the open and we, boom, bounced immediately before we touched that 50-day moving average down here. 50-day moving average is right around here. Never got down to it. And look at these long green candles before we get down to it. That tells me that buyers are in control, and they should be in control. We've got earnings season coming up that has historically been bullish. especially until the mega cap tech stocks have reported. So really, really good price action this morning, confirming the upside to it. And now we're kind of stalled in here, but I do like the upside for about the next week or so until those mega cap tech companies have reported earnings. I think the market bid remains strong. Do I think that we're going to race up to the all-time high? Gosh, that is a tall order, especially with year over year comps getting more and more difficult for companies to meet, because realize that we're coming out of this COVID, I don't know, shutdown, I suppose, for lack of better words. We started coming out of it a little bit a year ago. And so those comps are going to be tougher and tougher to beat. We also have forward PEs on the S&P 500 have not been this high since the tech bubble of 2000. So stocks are fully priced. They are priced for perfection. There's inflation in wages, basic materials. China's growth is slowing down. In fact, they released their GDP numbers. Their GDP was at 4.9%. It's the first time I can remember it below 5%. Gosh, I think it might have dipped there during the crux of the COVID shutdown, but that's a weak number. So we've got to be careful. I don't think we're going to race right back up to the high. We also have the Fed talking about tapering. So I think the headwinds are pretty strong. But can we tread water here and inch higher for another week or so while earnings season unfolds? You betcha. So I'm going to take a look for some bullish stocks. I'm going to go into one very quick search because I want to keep this brief. I'm going to go into a search called buy into earnings. I've gone through the last 12 quarters. I've looked at how stocks have responded once they get inside of their 2-week window before earnings. All of these stocks have had a tendency to rally before that earnings announcement date, and they've done so more than 75% over the course of the last 3 years. That tells me that these are the stocks that buyers are aggressive on before that earnings announcement. Key point. Do I hold these positions over earnings? No, I do not. Too risky. I am simply looking for a pattern that has repeated itself over the last 12 quarters. I'm trying to take advantage of that buying into the earnings announcement because there's a trade for me in it. So the deal here is we're going to be looking at these stocks knowing that as they approach earnings, they're going to have some pretty decent buying pressure. I'm only going to go through the top few because that's all I had to do to find one that I really liked. AMD, I love this one. Downward sloping trend line, breach to the upside, above the 50-day moving average, long green candle closing on its high, and then big follow through. So would I chase this right now? I'd love to see a pullback on AMD to about the $115 level. That puts me halfway up this long green candle, and I can use that halfway point as my stop and keep it very, very tight. But yes, I'd be looking for it to continue to drift higher. I like this stock. Amazon. Amazon's probably going to be my pick of the day because it is just getting going. Does that mean that I don't like AMD as much? No, I like it. It's just a little hot out of the gate, so I've got to be patient and wait for those windows of opportunity to enter. Amazon, on the other hand, I love this downward sloping trend line right here. Breach to the upside, long green candle closing on its high, clears the 200-day, clears the 50-day, closes at the 100-day MA, and today we are above that 100-day moving average. This is going to bring in buyers. We can use the 100-day moving average as our stop on a closing basis. Since this would be more of a swing trade, the stock would have to close below that 100-day moving average. I think this is a stock you can hang on to for a few days right now, particularly since we have the market action that we want. Market first, market first, market first. Market looks great through that downward sloping trend line, through the 50-day moving average, find support before it tests the 50-day moving average. Those are all key elements because when I start with the market, it tells me, hey, I've got a tailwind. Now all I have to do is I've got to find stocks that want to move higher. Well, hey, these stocks want to move higher into earnings announcements, and they are very technically strong. I like Amazon. I think it continues to grind higher. You can sell out of the money bullish put spreads on the premise that this 100-day moving average is going to hold. If it does not retreat and it just stays here, that spread will continue to make money on time premium decay alone. But I think that Amazon is actually going to build on this breakout. So you can even get more aggressive with it, and you can day trade it during the course of the day, maybe buy some very wide call debit spreads that will move well with the stock. That would certainly be a strategy that I like as well. You can look down the list here and you can see all of these stocks. They're inside of their 2-week window before earnings announcement. They all have a tendency to rally into the number. Not McDonald's, but Microsoft. I meant to click on. Pretty dang good looking chart there too, getting through the all-time high. I like it as well. Good luck with your trading. Stay long for the next week, week and a half. We should see some nice bullish price action. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please tell your friends about it so that they can get into trades like Home Depot. Thanks. Good luck with your trading.
Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.